Sudan as piece of land has nothing to do with the difficulties that we human beings in the Sudan have created. Therefore, there is no need to attack the land. Let us attack our wrongful thinking, our wrongful political thinking. And I shall speak, as I mentioned earlier, in defense of why I think that the reasons put forward by many people in the north as well as in southern Sudan in defense of secession of southern Sudan from the rest of the Sudan, to me, are very fallacious. That is, very falseful reasons, not very truthful reasons. First of all, there are so many benefits from our unity as a country. I think in the long term, we shall have efficient and effective use of our national resources. Yes, in the short term, we have experienced difficulties, but we are moving towards the long term, and I strongly believe that we are going to have efficient and effective use of our national resources. And I also think that in the long term, we shall be able to have efficient and effective use of our various physical infrastructures in this country. Because if you look very carefully at the reasons why we went to so many civil wars, it's simply because of resources, infrastructures, and power. Number three, I think in the long term, there shall be political, social, economic, financial, cultural, security, and military stability in this country, because we are moving towards that. If you compare the period between 1956 up to 1972, and then you compare between 72 to 83, and you compare between 2005 and now, you shall be able to discover some periods of quietness. Because when we get tired of fighting and killing one another, we become very sober politically, and we resort to peace. So let us pursue this peaceful path. And I also think that there shall be more effective and beneficial use of our international relations and concomitant opportunities and resources for common good and prosperity. Because right now, while the political atmosphere in the Sudan is saturated with political emotions, we Sudanese political groups, parties, etc., tend to abuse international relations for group benefits. And this affects us negatively. I also think that in the long term, we shall be able to have peace. And I disagree with the previous speaker that to have peace in the Sudan, you have to break it up into pieces, because that shall only be a recipe for more instability in this country. And I strongly believe that if we pursue political reasonableness, this country shall become a model, shall become a template in this continent, in the whole region, and internationally. If you look into our socio-cultural diversity, and if we are able to use these diversities or diversity to our own benefit, we shall be able to command respect of the international community. So let us not prescribe for ourselves wrongful medicine, political medicine, for treatment of our political ills, and that is the butchering up of this country. It doesn't solve. Now, let me run through some of the dangerous, false reasons why some of my brothers and sisters in the southern Sudan and in the northern Sudan think that the South should break away. Many people think that if the South breaks away, that it shall lead to socio-economic prosperity of southern Sudan. To me, this is false. the thing that if the Southern Sudan, the thing that the Southern Sudan is made up of seamless, homogeneous, functional, sociocultural, and anthropological human population. Therefore, they are different from the other peoples of the Sudan. This is false. Number three, many people think that the underdevelopment ills in Southern Sudan are caused by external factors outside the Southern Sudan, including the fact that the Southern Sudan is part of United Sudan. This is also false. Number four, some people think that the Southern Sudan shall benefit. This is here the politics of oil. People think that the South Sudan should break away so that it benefits 100% from the oil revenue. And this is being orchestrated every time by others in some political circles. To me, this is also a very trivial reason for claiming that the South should break away from the rest of the Sudan. Number five, the language of citizenship. The notion of Southern Sudanese being second class or third class. And this is being politicized. To me also, this is false. It is very false, very fallacious reason to think that you should break away simply because you are being treated as a third-class citizen in a united Sudan. Number six, some people also believe that Southern Sudanese should liberate themselves from Arabism and the Arabic language and instead adopt some other languages such as English or some other regional languages just to satisfy certain notion of a liberated self. To me also, this is not good enough reason to break away from this country which you, the Southern Sudan, or the Southern Sudanese, have built, have contributed to build. So you can't break away from yourself. You can't break away from infrastructures that you contributed in building. Some people also believe that the greatest enemies to the people of Southern Sudan and why the Southern Sudan should break away are Northern Sudanese elites. To me also, this is unfounded reason to demand for secession. It is not a strong enough reason, really, to demand for secession, simply because people think that the elites in the Northern Sudan are the enemies to the people of Southern Sudan. Finally, some people believe that if the Southern Sudan breaks away, it shall become free of political, economic, financial, racial, religious, and many other factors of marginalization. To me also, based on objective facts on the ground, these are false reasons for demanding the secession of Southern Sudan. Now, I would like to address actual, real, socio-economic, political, legal, security, cultural, infrastructural, and human realities in Southern Sudan, and compare this with the factors which people consider as being reasons for the Southern Sudan to break away. It is true that, taking into consideration the various variables in the Southern Sudan, if the Southern Sudan breaks away, it shall definitely lead to an entrenched socioeconomic instability in the Southern Sudan, if you take the current variables in the Southern Sudan into consideration. Number two, it is true that it is a fact that, it is a scientific fact that, and it is a factual fact that the Southern Sudan is made up of dangerously antagonistic and dysfunctionally heterogeneous sociocultural human groups who are continuously killing themselves in a fashion which points to an unstable sociology in Southern Sudan. And this is a recipe for more dangers to come. Number three, legally speaking, the right for self-determination is a right reserved for a people, not for a piece of land. Therefore, as mentioned above, the Southern Sudan is not made up of a people. It is made up of peoples. And therefore, the right of self-determination as understood at law, some lawyers among you could argue this with me if they want any time. At law, this is wrongfully applied in this sense. That is, you cannot apply the right for self-determination, which is meant for a people, for peoples. Because if you look critically into the justifications for the right of self-determination, there are certain characteristics which are needed in a people, not peoples. Because the idea is that if a people is a people, then there is some harmony in these people because they share common characteristics. But this is non-existent in the Southern Sudan because the Southern Sudan is made up of peoples, not a people. Number 4, in fact, then therefore, this argument about the right of self-determination, I would argue very strongly that at law, this is wrongly applied in this sense, and it is a wrongful legal remedy for misleading legal facts. Because if you look at the right of self-determination legally, it is characterized with the language of rights. And to have rights, you have to have certain facts which must prove those rights. Number 4, there are centuries old factors of underdevelopment in the Southern Sudan, not related to the fact that the Southern Sudan as people and landmass is part of modern Sudan. For the Southern Sudan to succeed, because it has not witnessed socioeconomic development during the interim period of the CPA,